Yeah. So I would just change the order a little bit here and say I might say from Season is from Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece, The Shining, yeah, which is based on a book by Stephen King. I wouldn't say he's the illustrious author. That's all fine, the summary.
That's just talking about the sequence.
You can't have an establishing shot using Steadicam. That sequence, that's at the very beginning of the film, that establishing shot. We're much further into the film at this stage, aren't we?
No, what do you mean, sir? I mean, it's following Danny around. That's what I mean by stunning.
Oh, interior. Sorry. Okay. So, what are we actually looking at now? The corridor or the hall?
Shall I show you the scene?
Or the big room? Yeah.
It's Danny. Yeah, Danny. It's not. Yeah, it's that one. It's this one. It's this one.
I'm Martin Brennan. I designed the B2. It's a jukebox. It can hold 5,000.
Yeah. So you're right about the loop. Go on.
The end is where the Grady twins are like, come play with us, Danny, forever and ever. And then it kind of flashbacks to the scene where they're dead. It's that one.
Yeah. What big wheel?
The tricycle.
Okay, so here you need to say the whole sequence is filmed using Steadicam with the camera positioned behind Danny and his tricycle, because that you haven't really described the shot. So it both gives us to some extent Danny's point of view, but it also shows us how small he is in the frame, because he's not big in the frame, is he? It's not right close to him.
No.
He's like this figure in the frame. And this gives a sense of foreboding because he looks vulnerable, and because we have a kind of limited view, we just think the audience kind of might suspect that something is going to come at him given the atmosphere of the film at this stage, yeah? I would just talk about the sound of the tricycle wheels rather than the big wheel. Okay, let's go back to...
But that's what I meant, sir, the tricycle wheel.
Yeah, so say that. And then you talk about the sound varying. So the sound design varies to match the surfaces that he's cycling on. Yeah. Is there any music going on at the minute? No,
yeah, it is. No, not right now. Not right now. Okay. It's when he goes into the. He's in the kitchen.
Okay, so this is pretty much what I've just said, but you need to link this into the technical aspects of the shot. I wouldn't say this at all because there's no proving that. Yeah, you can say that about the tricycle. That's not how you spell tricycle, but look it up. No, you've said that already. Good. You said all this. The things I'm saying. Sorry.
Yeah, it's because later on I figure it out. It's because it's when he's in the kitchen and when he disappears. That's what I said, because I'm just trying to begin with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I would talk about when you're talking about the atmosphere of the hotel, it's something to do with the kind of flat colours. There's no really, the blue and the red are. Okay, you said that about those. That's right. And in a way, there's kind of, because we're going to the lift now, aren't we?
The scene that I really started analysing was, I think it's going to come up now.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about the repetition of the doors and how, as he approaches each corner,
yeah.
As he approaches each corner,
it gives us
creates. Then you talk about this
room 237
close up. So that's what he knows about the history of that, or has he been hearing that number? What's going on?
No, it just he just feels a presence in that room. That's
okay, but he doesn't actually feel it. What we've got to do is describe how Kubrick suggests that, and that comes from him bringing the tricycle, looking over his shoulder in the same shot that we've had up until then, and the tracking shot, the camera and the tricycle stopping. Then we get an over-shoulder shot of him seeing what he's looking at. Which is held for quite a long time, and then it cuts back, showing his eye line looking up at the door, and the expression, it's a close-up. The expression on his face is quite nervous, but we also have this empty space here. Again, out of focus. Depth of field means the focus on him, but again, there's a sense that something might appear in here, which creates anxiety for the audience. Again, this shot is held for a long time, and I suspect the music is doing something interesting here. So when you're talking about the music, you talk about strings. What is it? Strings and piano. So it's a medium shot of him going to the door, and it's a single shot. And the edit there,
the twins as well,
the edit there is sort of creates the sense that, well, this is a single shot. This is what it would be like if we were there. We wouldn't have cutaways. We'd be watching this boy slowly go up and reach out for the door handle, and it makes the audience, again, it sort of creates a sense of reality for the audience, because the language of film kind of breaks down a little bit there, and it isn't going this, then this, then this. It's quite a long shot to hold there. So you should think about the pace of the editing there, how that creates meaning. And then we get a flash shot of the twins. But it's not made clear where the twins are. And again, there's an ambiguity there, what you're talking about. Not made clear to the audience. And then for the first time, we have him riding away from the camera, and he just becomes smaller and smaller in the frame, which suggests his vulnerability. And now as the tracking shot starts again...
That's the scene I was talking about. And then the music as well.